Hello everyone, my name is Banwei Wu and I would like to present about reading the tourist guidebook. Reading the tourist guidebook is the pre-departure management activities which most of the tourists manage to do reading about their destination before they travel. And it's basically the tourist guidebook is a book of information about the place which is designed for the use of visitor or tourists. And it will usually include the information about the site accommodations, restaurants, transportation, and many other activities. And it also includes the method of verifying detailed and historical cultural information are often included in the guidebooks. And there are also some different kind of books, and some are focusing on the different aspect of travel, like from adventure travel to relaxation, or some books are aimed to the traveler with the different incomes and so on. And my journal is focused on the tourist way of reading and relating to the guidebooks, and how these guidebooks are influenced on the tourist perspective in both positive or negative aspects, depending on the way how tourists use it. And in the introduction, the journal discussed about there a certain degree of contempt and denigration is often part of person perception of the guidebooks. So that perceived in this way, the guidebooks became an instrument of delusions which leave tourists blind to all other aspects of place visited than those pointed as the site-worthy by the guidebooks. And the behavior of many tourists is influenced by the travel guides as a script that is organized on knowledge structure, like which is sub at the framework for how tourists are behaved according to the guidebooks. And the aim of this study is to produce an initial understanding of this area of tourist basics. Like the analysis can separate into threefold. And firstly, to identify different pattern or characterizing tourist reading and guidebook with respect to types of information sought and amount of information they read. And secondly, to determine the tourist level of involvement in their guidebooks, and partly on the basis of time and effort they put into reading it. And thirdly, on the basis of above discussion, to set up the typology of the guidebook reader, in other words, different type of guidebook readers, which is different approach that the tourists may take to their guidebooks. And these four will be discussed a bit detailed in the following slide. And type of information source, which means it is ranging from background knowledge to ready-to-use answer or ready-to-use information. And what is ready-to-use information? And on the other hand is the practicalities like accommodations, transportation, food and dining, opening hour and currency, that sort of things. And it's also identifying the attractions, in other words, that provide the guidebook reader to how to get by and what to do at the destinations. And also information used in a guidebook concerns good place to eat, good place to sleep, what sort of money do they have to do, and how to get around, and also things to do so. However, the important information like seeking out cultural and historical background knowledge is less significant in the informations, so that the guidebook predominantly functions as a coordinated source for cultural and historical insight rather than an instrumental planning tool. So some of the visitors willing do not meet in the guidebooks as they are interested in the meeting and getting to know with the local people and those kind of things. And another one is about amount of information reads, which is the number of guidebooks used in the possible combination with other information source, and which means the guidebook reader gives priority to both information platforms or diverse perspectives on the destinations or more singular information based stemming from one source. And most of the reader or respondents who use two guidebooks also seek out additional information or more information. And the data illustrate that the respondents interested in cultural and historical will read multiple books before or during the holidays. And for the majority of the respondents, the guidebook is however, a mean to find a concrete answer and reading either a center or specific point of interest. So in this case, the reader process resembles that the applying one using knowledge seeking ready to use information again. And another thing is about level of involvement, which means the respondent take critical or is positive or negative toward their guidebooks, and the degree of personal relevance generated the level of involvement. And sometimes the involvements are generated by its user-friendliness, side of the book, overview of the text by the means of highlight keywords. And respondents who display low involvement in their guidebooks, either their guidebooks positively but on no concrete basis or displayed indifference toward it. Backpackers are often highly involved in their guidebooks, which means that different way of reading and using the guidebook likely to be found among backpackers. And typology of the guidebook readers. There are three different types of guidebook readers. The first one is the information edit, the second one is the planner, and the third one is the functional minimalist. And the information edit, they are interested in gaining and understanding place and people. To gain deeper understanding, the guidebook is read comprehensively and additional information, so that the involvement in the guidebook is relatively high as time and effort is spent reading. And planner, they are also a reader who is after ready to use functional information, and they usually focus on what to do, how to do, and how to get by at the tourist destinations. They also have a great care and detail so that the important sites are not missed, and which also means that the two guidebooks or additional information are often used, and the involvement level is relatively high, thus usefulness of the guidebooks to the function as a planning tool. And the last one is the functional minimalist, and they are not very preoccupied with or dependent upon the guidebooks, and they use the guidebook as a knowledge of particularities and identify some attractions, so that for them a single guidebook is enough and no additional information is sought. And the involvement in the guidebook is relatively low, and sometimes there's no evaluative stand is taken in its usefulness. And as to conclude my presentations, is an exploratory study of the guidebook reading among visitors, which is that tourists may consider the same guidebooks but quite different experience as a result of the orientation and the different level of involvement. And the guidebooks are written from different perspectives, so it's influenced by the different target groups. However, the field is open for much interesting purposes in tourist guidebook in future. So this is the end of my presentations, and thank you everyone.